Griezmann, 3 men around him, but somehow finds some space. Ronaldo, fantastic, opening the drive.
Ronaldo on the ball. He's made
Look at this, just control. The control displayed there is absolutely ridiculous.
The Elastico on the goal line. On the goal line, the finest of...
We talked about Aussie FIFA. He's not here to make up the numbers.
G'day guys, Aussie FIFA HD, and welcome back to yet another FIFA 21 tutorial on my channel. Now today it's a little bit of a different video, and it's a sad day indeed. I'm sure most of you did hear the news that Anders, my man, I'm a very big fan indeed, took his first L in over 500 Fut Champions games. But today I'm going to basically break down the gameplay of the opponent of Anders and how he did actually beat him. Alright, now I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going to break it up into defense and into attack. Okay, and I'm going to keep it simple for you guys so that you can understand what he's done and basically give you a good understanding of what it took to beat someone who's actually won over 500 games in a row in Fut Champions. Firstly, we're going to jump into the attack, and essentially an attacking technique which I like to call hugging the sideline. Now this is actually a technique that I use personally myself, and yeah, basically what it does is, and I'm going to break it down for you, but essentially it is taking the ball out to the wing, drawing the defense out that way, and then opening up the space in the center of the pitch. Then we're going to jump into the defense of Anders' opponent. Now I'm going to keep it simple. Once again, we're going to break it down into two different defending techniques. It's right stick selection and it's covering the middleman. Quite simple to do, at least if you practice quite a bit, you'll be able to get it down pat. But essentially, I'm going to keep it simple that way. So without further ado, let's get into this tutorial and how Anders, oh boy, yeah, it's a sad day, took his first L in Fut Champions. Firstly, I do want to mention that what I have done for this tutorial is broken down the first half of this match. The reason why I haven't done the second half is essentially because if you look at the goals that did happen, they were all broken away goals. They were all goals which the opponent essentially broke away because Anders was pressing up the field and trying to win the ball back. So for me, anyone can score a goal when they're on the break, and for me it's not really worth breaking down because they're quite easy goals in the end, ball rolling the keeper and scoring them. But essentially what I'm going to do is break down into the defense and attack the first half for you guys, because for me that was the most important half, and that's what decided the game in the end. Moving into the attack, aka hugging the sideline, an attacking technique that I use personally in my FIFA 21 attack, and what I've actually used in previous FIFAs as a possession style player. I'm going to break it down. As you're seeing here, each and every time Anders' opponent wins the ball back, he will select a side to attack on, whether it's up the top or whether it's down below. As you're seeing from this example, he wins the ball back, he keeps it up the top side of the pitch to open up the space in the middle. He's playing it around, say middleman, he's Sanchez and Pele, and picking a side each and every time and sticking to it. As you're seeing in this attack, he gets the ball and he plays it around the bottom side where he actually does indeed score a goal. In this attack, it's up the top and he will not switch the play. He will keep it on that specific side to try and draw the defense into the wing area. For a clear example, I'm going to actually pause it here and use my own gameplay from the Fut Champions Weekend League to use it as an example to show you guys what it means. You're saying here I'm playing it around the wing area, and essentially what's happening is there's a lot of space opening up in the center of the pitch, and essentially I'm able to play it around, play it into the box, and it's an easy slot home goal for my attacker. And this you can use a lot, especially if you have a wide formation, and yeah, it's something that's very, very deadly if you know how to use it. Now, one thing about hugging the sideline and attacking this way is essentially the best thing about it is if your opponent is using second man press, which in this case Anders does use, and if you see from the controllers on the bottom left, he does use this, okay, to essentially defend and put pressure onto the opponent. When you do use hug the sideline, if your opponent or your defender, or your opponent, my bad, is essentially using second man press, it will cause a lot of the defenders to push towards that side of the ball, which means there's going to be a lot of space opening up in the center of the pitch. Moving into the first proper example and the first goal, which did occur in this game. As I was talking to you before about hugging the sideline, the opponent in this situation has chosen the bottom side of the pitch, and essentially what he's going to do is keep the ball out on that bottom side the whole time until the space opens up in the middle. Just seeing here, I was able to play it through to Pele where the space opened up, and essentially it was an easy goal in the end. A far post finish, which of course all of us know in this game most of the time they go in. Now if we do break this down slowly, you will see the opponent does win the ball back, obviously in his own half, deep in his own half. Now what is actually happening here is essentially he's chosen the bottom side of the pitch because obviously it's the closest side to where the ball has been won back. He will keep the ball on this side the whole time until he is ready to obviously play it in the middle where the gap has opened up. And as you're seeing here, Mbappe is pushing forward, and essentially he's able to abuse his pace to try and get forward and up the pitch away from his own half so that he can cause or start the attack. He does a ball roll, performs a ball roll to essentially keep the ball away from his opponent. Now that's quite an easy skill move to perform. It's very, very good skill move for keeping possession. Now if you don't know how to perform that, there is a tutorial on the channel. Okay, so be sure to look out for that. But you're seeing here, Anders does get very unlucky not to win the ball back. He should have won the ball back there. But the point here is, what his opponent is doing is essentially holding the ball out on that side of the pitch the whole time. He's not looking to switch the play. He's only looking to go into the middle once the space opens up here. And if you look here, there is a big gap in the middle. The reason why is because he's been playing the ball on the outside. Anders has been using second man press, and essentially there's a lot of space in the middle of the pitch, and Pele's able to use his running or his positioning, and obviously Pele's a very good player this year. His positioning is outstanding. He's able to make that run into the space, and it's an easy through ball for Firmino to play obviously Pele in. And as you're seeing here, Pele will start to make the run. Anders puts a bit of pressure onto Firmino, but at this point it's too late because Pele's running through, and he will score an easy far post finish. It's a good goal in the end, and essentially it's what happens if you do use second man press, because when you use second man press in this game, if your opponent is very good at hugging the sideline and bringing it back around the other side, recycling it, then you will concede. And in this case, Anders unfortunately did concede, making it 1-0. And at this point, it's the 34th minute, and his opponent has a very good opportunity to try and close this game out. Moving on into the defense. Now, we'll keep this segment rather short, and the reason being is because I did notice, what I noticed about Anders' opponent is he didn't use anything out of the ordinary, if you know what I mean, in terms of defending. Now, if you are a pro or you do watch a lot of tutorials on how to defend like a pro, essentially, his opponent and his opponent didn't really use anything which is, as I was saying, out of the ordinary. He used the likes of right stick selection and, covering the middleman, etc., but nothing out of the ordinary. Now, we'll deconstruct those actual defending techniques for you, but I just wanted to mention that essentially, there wasn't anything too special about his defending other than the fact that he defended exceptionally well against Anders. Moving into right stick selection. Now this is quite a common technique of defending in obviously the higher caliber player style of defending, and essentially what it is selecting the defender that you want with the right stick. Obviously your lower caliber players will use the L1 button to select the player that they want to defend with. However, it's not always accurate, and it doesn't always select the defender that you want. But right stick selection allows you to select the defender that you want, so that you're able to put a lot more pressure onto your opponent. And as you've seen up in front of your screen, this example here from the game, essentially what he is doing is using the right stick to select Sanchez and cut the passing lane between Rooney and Fernandes, who obviously the players of Anders, and basically what he's done is he's suffocated his opponent with the Firmino defender, and then he's selected Sanchez to cut that passing lane and quickly intercept the ball using the right stick selection method. Moving in to marking the middleman. Now essentially what this is basically you using your defender to cut off the passing lane of the middleman, or the actual striker who is in the center of the pitch. Now you can use this with various techniques, right stick selection to select the defender that you want so that you can move him into that gap, into that space to cut the passing lane. You can do it with L1 switching and essentially just move the defender into that area to try and cut the passing lane. But as you've seen from this specific example, Anders' opponent is exceptional at doing this, and basically what he does is continuously cut off that pass into the striker and continuously give him no options in the center of the pitch. Basically, if I was going to summarize it, what he's trying to do here is keep Anders out on the wing area, because you can't score goals out on the wing area. And if you cut the passing lanes of the middleman, what you're able to do is essentially give him no options and force him back out to the wing. Okay, now if he's in the center of the pitch, what you will notice is the defender or Anders' opponent will actually try and pressure a little bit more, because he doesn't want him in the center of the pitch. He wants to force him back out to the wing. So what he does is pushes the defender closer to the attacker and tries to make that tackle. But when he's on the wing area, what he does is tries to cut that passing lane, because obviously he's just cutting off the middleman and not enabling him any options to proceed with his attack. So there you have it, my analysis of the one and only game that Anders lost in Fut Champions. I hope you guys found this interesting and helpful, and ultimately you learnt something from this. And if you picked up something that obviously you haven't learnt before or you didn't know, then I'm a happy man, because I've obviously taught you guys something today on this tutorial. But I would like to thank you for the support lately on the channel. It's been absolutely immense. We hit 11,000 subscribers not long ago. Your support has been absolutely tremendous. And I would like to leave this video by saying congratulations to Anders. Even though he lost, I know it was coming one day. Even though he lost, over 500 wins, that's an outstanding achievement, and well done to the young man. So, man, good on you. I'm a big fan, and I'm sure I'll see you on the big stage very shortly. But as always, lads, I hope you guys have a good day. I hope you enjoyed this video. Smash a like, drop a sub, and follow me on Twitter. Link is in the description down below. But I'm out. Have a good day, guys, and peace.